Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is the sciatic nerve. We have completed the obturator nerve in the last video. We are covering the important topics in the lower limb. Those who have not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe now so that you will have the continuation of the gross anatomy videos, histology, embryology, neuroanatomy. Do subscribe now. Keep watching the videos. So in the lower limb, the important artery we have covered, a femoral artery, is an important essay. Nerves, obturator nerve may be asked, sciatic nerve may be asked. Even a common peroneal nerve has been asked in the university examinations. So now we will move on to the topic sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve we will see under the following headings: origin, root value, as like any other nerves. How does it enter into the gluteal region? Its course and its relations, its termination and branches, surface marking and applied anatomy. Surface marking has been added in the CBME curriculum. You should learn the surface marking of every important structure you are reading. So sciatic nerve, first origin, and you should know this sciatic nerve is the thickest nerve of the body. Terminal branch of the sacral plexus, and it's 2 centimeter wide. It's very interesting. 2 centimeter it is wide at its origin. So it is the thickest nerve of the body, and it's one of the PG entrance MCQs. Root value, it has 2 components. So you should understand this sciatic nerve particularly. It has 2 components, tibial and common peroneal, covered by a common epineurium. Tibial from the ventral divisions of ventral rami of L4, L5, S1, S2, S3. Common peroneal from dorsal divisions of ventral rami of L4, L5, S1, S2 and not the S3. So that is the difference you should remember. Tibial from ventral divisions and common peroneal from dorsal divisions. So this is sacral plexus. Do you know where it is situated? It is situated in the pelvis inside the piriformis muscle. So from the sacral plexus, the sciatic nerve should enter the gluteal region through the greater sciatic notch below the piriformis. So this is the piriformis muscle. You should know this is the gluteus medius caten, and then this is the medius maximus, then the minimus here. So that these 3 gluteal muscles, then below the gluteus minimus we have the piriformis. This is the key muscle of the gluteal region, because so many structures come from the upper border of piriformis and from the lower border of piriformis. That's why it is called as key muscle of gluteal region. So this sciatic nerve enters through the greater sciatic notch here below the lower border of piriformis. From the greater sciatic notch descends in the gluteal region between the greater trochanter and ischial tuberosity to enter the back of the thigh. Sciatic nerve termination, if you see, it divides at the junction of the middle and lower thirds of the thigh. The nerve divides into terminal branches, tibial and common peroneal. That's exactly at the upper angle of popliteal fossa. So this is the upper angle. So this is the popliteal fossa. You will be dissecting after the back of the thigh. This popliteal fossa is behind the back of the knee. So that is the popliteal fossa. It has one upper angle, lower angle and 2 lateral angles, popliteal fossa. So this is the junction of middle and lower thirds of the thigh. That's at the upper angle exactly. This sciatic nerve divides into tibial and common peroneal nerve. You should understand this tibial nerve. It will be interestingly running in the middle of the popliteal fossa, as if it divides the fossa into two parts. It will be running. Common peroneal nerve will be running on this margin of this nerve. That nerve is the biceps femoris. As if it is not concerned with the fossa, it will be running and it will be leaving the fossa. That is the common peroneal nerve. So you should understand now. Still now we told tibial and common peroneal components. After its divisions only, you should tell this as tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. Course and relations in gluteal region. Posteriorly gluteus maximus, anteriorly posterior surface of the ischium with the nerve to quadratus femoris in between. So these are the relations in the gluteal region. Again anteriorly superior gemellus, obturator tendon, internus tendon, inferior gemellus and quadratus femoris. So these are this is the lower border of piriformis, so from which the sciatic nerve is entering. So here it is related to superior gemellus. Here it is given superior gemellus, obturator internus tendon and inferior gemellus. Together will be called as tricipital tendon. Below that this quadratus femoris muscle. So these are all the anterior relations. So you should understand in the sciatic nerve or in the gluteal region, you should understand what you are seeing superficially is the posterior relations. What you are seeing deeper is the anterior relations, because now we are seeing not the relations in the we are turning this cadaver in the prone position, then we are seeing, so we as if it appears this is deeper and this is superficial, but actual anatomical relation is these are this is the anterior relations. So this will be called as the otherwise called as the sciatic nerve bed. So this separate the later from the obturator externus and hip joint. So these structures intervene between the sciatic nerve and the obturator externus and also the hip joint. Medially you can appreciate this is the posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh, and one artery will be here, inferior gluteal artery. Course and relations in the thigh. Posteriorly crossed by the long head of biceps femoris. Now you can appreciate this is the posterior relation, crossed by the long head of biceps femoris, anteriorly adductor magnus. Below the quadratus femoris, this muscle is the adductor magnus. Adductor magnus you should understand. This adductor magnus is a hybrid muscle consisting of two components, hamstring component and adductor component. So we have completed the relations and its course. Now the branches, terminal branches, two branches. Then the supply of the sciatic nerve, if you see, tibial component supplies semitendinosus, semimembranosus, long head of biceps femoris and hamstring part of the adductor magnus. So all these muscles are present in the back of the thigh, and these muscles are the hamstring muscles, otherwise called as hamstring muscles. Hamstring muscles supplied by the tibial component. Common peroneal component supplies only the short head of biceps femoris. So this is the tibial component supplies the long head of biceps femoris. Common peroneal component supplies the short head of biceps femoris. If you see this adductor magnus, just now I told has two components, adductor component and hamstring component. Adductor component will be supplied by the obturator nerve, and hamstring component will be supplied by the tibial component of the sciatic nerve. Then you should understand this common peroneal component supplies short head of biceps femoris. After its division into tibial and common peroneal nerves, the common peroneal does not supply any muscle. It is only then afterwards it is cutaneous, and it divides into terminal branches. But this common peroneal component supplies one muscle, that is the short head of biceps femoris. Articular branches to the hip joint also. So we have completed the branches and its supply. Now the surface marking. So the surface marking carries 5 marks in the CBME curriculum in the practical exams. So you read surface marking for every important artery, nerve, gland and organs. So what is the surface marking of the sciatic nerve? It corresponds to a line just medial to the midpoint between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. Then you should know where to mark the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. Then from that it is to the apex of the popliteal fossa. Now we will come to the applied anatomy. Sciatica, this is the common word used by even by the common people. They have understood now this sciatica is the pain along the back of the thigh region. What is sciatica? Is pain along the distribution of the sciatic nerve due to the irritation of the nerve roots. So nerve roots, when it is irritated, the pain traverses along the back of the thigh to the leg from the buttock region. Then sciatic nerve palsy. Sciatic nerve is the main nerve in the lower limb. If you see femoral nerve supplies front of the thigh. Obturator nerve supplies medial side of the thigh. So then if you think of the leg and the foot, the main nerve and its branches should supply, that is the sciatic nerve. So sciatic nerve starting in the gluteal region supplies the back of the thigh muscle, then it will divide into tibial and common peroneal branches. They only will supply the leg and the foot. So you think just the sciatic nerve is paralyzed, then all the muscles below the knee, then they are affected. In the thigh, hamstring muscles are affected. They are the knee flexors. They are the hamstring muscles. So what is the result? Resulting in foot drop. So that you should have learnt wrist drop in the upper limb. Same as here in the lower limb, foot drop. Wrist drop is caused by the radial nerve palsy and foot drop is caused by the sciatic nerve palsy. So that will affect all the muscles below the knee and in the thigh, that is the hamstring muscles. So there will be the severe difficulty in walking. Causes of sciatic nerve palsy: the dislocation of the hip joint posteriorly, otherwise iatrogenic. I think you should have learnt now the meaning of iatrogenic. Iatrogenic is induced by the medical persons. So what is this cause of sciatic nerve palsy? Is misplaced IM injections. So you should know this is the safe way to give the intramuscular injection. One finger should be placed in the just below the tubercle of iliac crest and another finger over the anterior superior iliac spine. So in between this only, this is the safe place for the intramuscular injection. If you give the injection in this safe place, you are not disturbing any nerves in the gluteal region. If by mistake iatrogenic intramuscular injection is given here, affecting these nerves, then causing the sciatic nerve palsy. So that is iatrogenic. Other iatrogenic causes in the hip replacement surgeries, otherwise lengthening of femur surgeries or the hip joint manipulation, sharp injuries in the hip region. They may cause the sciatic nerve palsy. One syndrome is the piriformis syndrome. We should know what is this piriformis syndrome is. There may be the relationship of the sciatic nerve and piriformis may be having variations that may cause pain in the buttocks along the course of the sciatic nerve. So in this you can appreciate piriformis, this tibial component and common peroneal component, they are having the different relation with the piriformis. So that anomalous relationship may cause the piriformis syndrome. Compression of sciatic nerve in elderly bedridden individuals is common. Sleeping foot, if you sit on the hard surface with the foot on the hard surface crossed, then you should have observed when you stand up temporary numbness in the foot, that is the temporary compression of arterial supply to the sciatic nerve, that is called sleeping foot. So what supplies this sciatic nerve we should know, that is the sciatic artery, that is the arteria committens nervi ischiadia. That's a branch of internal iliac which will be on the surface of sciatic nerve or within the sciatic nerve. So that is temporary compression of this arterial supply that will cause numbness in the foot, that is called sleeping foot. So we have finished this important nerve, sciatic nerve, thickest nerve of the body, which is a branch of sacral plexus in the pelvic region. Then it is entering this gluteal region below the lower border of piriformis, and this crossing is this important relation in the thigh, and it divides at the upper angle of the popliteal fossa into tibial and common peroneal nerves. And this tibial component supplies semitendinosus, semimembranosus, long head of biceps, and ischial and adductor hamstring part of adductor magnus. And common peroneal component supplies the short head of biceps femoris. And we have learnt in detail this many applied anatomy of the sciatic nerve, which is very important for the clinicians. So I think you should have understood this important topic, but very simple topic, sciatic nerve. So with the next topic in the lower limb, we will see in the next video. Those who have not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe now and keep watching the videos. Thank you.